What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your dynamic or condenser microphone with your ISOBOX. Now when it comes to setting up a microphone with the ISOBOX, we can either use a condenser microphone or a dynamic microphone. The main difference between the two mics is the overall quality of sound. Also, the condenser microphone tends to be more sensitive than the dynamic microphone. And you also need different mic clips to hold them. So for the condenser microphone, you use a shock mount that looks like this. And for the dynamic microphone, you can use a standard mic clip like this. So first I'm gonna show you guys how to set up a dynamic microphone with the ISOBOX. So whether we're using a mic clip or a shock mount, the first thing we want to consider is the threading of whichever mic holder we're using. So what I mean by that is if we look at the bottom here, you'll see the threading that can be used when attaching to the mic stand inside of your ISOBOX. When it's pretty open like this will mean that we can attach it to any thicker threading, but sometimes your mic clips or shock mounts have a thinner thread inside. But either way, it's no problem because the threading on the mic stand inside of your ISOBOX has the adapter on top, so you can actually take that off to reveal a thinner threading. So you can use any type of mic clip or mic holder, no matter what the threading on the bottom is. So to reveal the thinner threading on the top of your mic stand, you're just gonna unscrew the adapter on top to reveal that thinner threading. But remember, you have both options no matter which mic clip you're trying to attach. So for the dynamic microphone setup, I can take my mic clip here and I'm gonna line up the threading on the bottom of the clip to the threading here on the mic stand and then just screw it on. From here, you can take your dynamic microphone and slip it onto the clip just like this. Remember, you can also adjust the height of the mic stand using this knob here on the side. So if you want it taller, you can just bring it up. If you want to make it shorter, just bring it down and then just tighten the knob to lock it in place. So now we can connect our microphone to our interface so we can start recording, and we also have the holes on the bottom of the ISOBOX so that we can use that to feed our cable through to connect to our mic. So I'm gonna take the female end of my mic cable and run it through either of the holes here on the bottom of the ISOBOX. Which hole you use just depends on where your mic is placed. So because it's a little bit further back, I'm gonna use one of the back holes here. I'm gonna keep pushing up so that it's pushing past the foam on the bottom of the box. And then I'm just gonna connect the female end into the microphone. We can then take the other end of our mic cable and plug it into our interface. Once you're all set, you can close up the door for your box so that the pop filter is covering up the microphone to block the plosive sounds. And you can also use the pop filter as a reference of where you should place yourself for when you're recording. Remember also, you can adjust the placement of the mic itself inside of the ISOBOX using the slits on the bottom of the box for the best setup that you need with your microphone. So once you're all set, you can hit record on your DAW and start recording with the ISOBOX. So before we test out our setup, I actually want to show you guys the comparison with using the dynamic microphone without the ISOBOX, and then we're gonna record the sample using the dynamic microphone with the ISOBOX. So now I want to show you guys how to set up a condenser microphone with the ISOBOX. So again, the first thing we want to do is look at our shock mount and see what kind of threading here is on the back. So as you can see, it's a pretty open, thick threading. So that's going to match up with the threading we have on the mic stand inside of the ISOBOX. But again, in case it doesn't match and you have a thinner threading here on your shock mount, you can always take the adapter piece off the mic stand inside of your ISOBOX to reveal the thinner threading. So when attaching the shock mount to your mic stand, the first thing we recommend you doing is making it straight just like this. You know, most times it's in a 90-degree angle when you have the microphone on there and everything. But if you want to straighten it out, you can loosen this knob here, make the shock mount straight, and then just tighten up the knob to lock it in place. So once you have that set, you can line up the threading of your shock mount to the top of your mic stand and then screw it on. So once you have the shock mount attached, you're gonna loosen the knob here on the side of your shock mount so that you can place it in that 90-degree angle. Tighten the knob up to lock it in place, and then you can take your condenser microphone and pinch on the shock mount to open it up, slide the mic right in, and let go of the latches once you have the mic in there. And now we have it set up. Again, remember you can adjust the height using the knob on the side of the mic stand inside of your ISOBOX. Again, to set up the microphone to your interface, you're going to take your mic cable and run it through the bottom of the ISOBOX. Remember, you can use any of the holes that match up best with your microphone. So I'm going to run it through the bottom of the ISOBOX so that it's lining up to the microphone here. And then I'm just going to connect the female end of my mic cable into the condenser mic. So now that we got the mic all set up, we can close up the ISOBOX, connect the other end of our mic cable into the interface. And the one thing you want to remember about condenser microphones is that they need to be powered by phantom power on your interface, so make sure that's powered on before you start recording. Once we got that all set, we can hit record. So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to set up your ISOBOX with your dynamic or condenser microphone. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.